Yeah, and I think it's really important too. So the organic content's very important, but having that 3 month stint of I usually say 100 days straight. So I'm a big fan of posting multiple times a day across many different platforms. So a great example of that is I post on my LinkedIn multiple different times a day, but I'm also running LinkedIn ads. I'm also running Facebook ads. And that organic content, I'm running two different kinds of campaigns. So I'm running a follow campaign. So trying to get more people aware of my company, of my personal brand, of all that kind of stuff. And then, as well as running a lead generation campaign that is actually generating leads for me and for my business. So, the two of them are really important. You want that awareness marketing, but you also want that call to action marketing that's actually going to produce the sales.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest, Kyle Hackbarth, is the founder of James Marketing Company, where he helps businesses turn clear messaging into real growth. His work focuses on high-intent marketing, strong storytelling, and systems that drive qualified leads instead of noise. He believes the best marketing feels human, simple, and built for long-term results. You can find him on YouTube at Kyle Hackbarth USA or on his website, jamesmarketingcompany.com. Thanks for taking the time today, Kyle. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Now, when we talk specifically about lead generation, marketing in general, I think everyone who's involved in every segment of the real estate space is going to be involved in some level of online lead generation. And oftentimes it becomes so complicated that people throw their hands up in the air and say, well, let me focus on another segment. But that's, of course, probably going to be cutting your business down substantially. So I'd like to start there, which is, for folks who may be a small investor or a realtor just getting started, what kind of basic steps can people do on a bootstrap level to help them get started with online marketing and with generating some leads for themselves?
Absolutely. Well, I believe that the education space is huge. I think it's really important to have organic content consistently posting, and it's good to have quality content, but you also got to make sure that you're consistent with the content as well. So I'm a big fan of reusing content if you need to, but setting aside maybe it's 100 minutes a day, or even a week to create organic content, whether that's writing the content, recording the content, editing the content, scheduling the content, whatever like that, making sure that that organic stuff keeps going out, because the free content is what's going to be able to eventually convert into people who are wanting to pay um, for whatever service that you're trying to provide.
Now, for folks who are trying to figure out, exactly what kind of content to put out there, and then also trying to gauge, when is this going to start working for me? I've heard a variety of different takes on this. One of the ones that I tend to associate with or feel like has been true to me or rings true to me is you've got to ramp up and look at it from the perspective of a quarter of a year. So I'm looking at, okay, so I got to have this marketing strategy for 3 months before I can really cast any judgment on it, even if it's my own videos, right? And so I might
Right.
be posting for weeks, right? But the cumulative effect of that might not happen, and I might not start seeing any traction until several months down the line, potentially.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, and I think it's really important too. So the organic content's very important, but having that 3 month stint of I usually say 100 days straight. So I'm a big fan of posting multiple times a day across many different platforms. So a great example of that is I post on my LinkedIn multiple different times a day, but I'm also running LinkedIn ads. I'm also running Facebook ads. And that organic content, I'm running two different kinds of campaigns. So I'm running a follow campaign. So trying to get more people aware of my company, of my personal brand, of all that kind of stuff. And then, as well as running a lead generation campaign that is actually generating leads for me and for my business. So, the two of them are really important. You want that awareness marketing, but you also want that call to action marketing that's actually going to produce the sales. One's more long term and one's, usually right away. So, I think it's a horse apiece when it comes to. I mean, I could start generating leads for somebody tomorrow if their messaging is intact. It's just really important to have that framework of what your business is and why you're doing what you're doing and what's the value provided to the person
I want to
purchasing.
get a little bit granular on Meta because I've run
Yeah.
into issues on Meta, and I've also seen some other people run into similar, which is that if you're using a personal page to do business, that if you do something that potentially is a violation of the terms of service, which could be anything, it could be any number of things, that your account could be suspended or limited access. Does it make sense to maybe have a dedicated Instagram for business or a dedicated Facebook for business because of that reason?
100%. I will say so. I'm sure you've probably heard of Alex Hormozy. For people who don't know, he basically acquires companies, builds them, and then either decides to sell them or just continue building them. And so he really talks about the importance of. I don't know why I lost my train of thought here. This is horrible.
Alex Orlozzi talks about the importance
Yeah,
of it, and Meta accounts getting disabled, potentially separate business account for
yeah,
personal.
yeah. So he was so if you look at it, so he has acquisition.com is his main company. And so if you look up acquisition.com on Facebook, on Instagram, and all that kind of stuff, the amount of followers of that comparative to his and Layla's accounts, I mean, they have millions. Acquisition.com on Facebook, I think they have like 10,000. So I think it's important it really depends on the brand. For realtors, I think it's really important to have that personal brand. I can have my brokerage or whatever like that brand, but building your personal brand is what's going to really drive. Now, there's a difference between a personal account and a creator account. And I think it's really important to make sure that when you are trying to promote your business or your real estate business in particular, that you're getting that creator account and you're growing it as that to build that personal brand around you. Um,
Yeah, I echo that. And again, because of my experience and then dealing or speaking with other folks who had a similar experience, I also think that right now, in particular, like what we're talking in February of 2026, I don't necessarily want to go at this by myself, right?
right.
Because I feel like things are changing so quickly, and what is expected of people from a marketing standpoint, and then what is also expected from people from a platform standpoint, like what you need to do to keep being able to stay on that platform, is changing rapidly. And I personally feel like I want some guidance, and I think there's a lot of people that are dealing with that as well, to the point where, if this is something that you're doing, part time, but you potentially have the resources to bring someone on to help you with this, it's just going to be jet fuel to what you're already doing.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, and I'm a strong believer that the more content, the more digital footprint that you can have out there, whether it's podcasts, blogs, social media, I mean, all that kind of stuff. I will say I'm primarily a social media company, but you know, I probably the only social media company owner in the world that will tell you social media is not the only answer, and it's not everything, but you got to make sure that you're having every single step because I mean, at the end of the day, you look at your competitor. Are they making blogs every day? Are they posting podcasts? Are they doing all those things? You got to be anywhere that people can
And
really.
when we talk about the difference in platforms, like for instance, LinkedIn versus, Facebook versus Instagram versus, TikTok, right? I
Yeah.
oftentimes hear people talk about, well, you've got to go find, the avatar that you're marketing towards, right? And so one of the things that I think is tricky for people is, well, if they're looking for, let's just say, distressed real estate properties, right? They've got to find people that are homeowners, and so they've got to find people who yes, may need to sell, but they also, maybe have equity in their home as well. And so they're trying to figure out exactly which platform to be on. Oftentimes they just end up deciding, well, I'm going to stick with, this one platform. Let's call it Instagram, right? And that's going to be their bread and butter. Is that a maybe a wrong strategy? Should people be quote unquote diversifying through other platforms? Or if their focus and their bandwidth, their time is limited, is it okay to just focus on one?
What I would say is I would I have 3 answers to that question. Number 1, get a platform that posts on pretty much every single social media. You can even post the same content. Great examples are Buffer, Loomly. I think HubSpot has a feature for that. So, get something that can easily post content for you. The second part is as far as running those paid advertisements, Meta has a really good feature that you can target interests and demographics and all that kind of stuff. As far as and even recent life events. So whether it's you're searching after that new home buyer or you're searching after all those maybe it's 60-year-olds that are wanting to downsize or whatever like that. There's really good metrics that you can kind of pull from. But on the other side, you can't just type in new home buyer or whatever like that. A great example is I worked with a motivational speaker. He or more like a self-talk speaker, and him and I were talking about, he's running a course on depression. I'm like, well, you can't just target depression. So what you can do is you can look through maybe some of the symptoms or the reasons why somebody might be depressed. Maybe it's they just moved away from home. Maybe it's they just lost a loved one. Like all those different things. And Facebook has different ways to target those individual, life changes and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a big one, right? And that's a big one too for real estate investors.
Mhm.
There's things that we know are indicators of distress, death, divorce, financial issues outside of the day to day. It could be loss of work, right? And so it could also be medical expenses. Things come up. Someone who's aging, and it may be challenging to target that exactly, right? But there's other ways, like you're mentioning, where you could potentially find concentric circles of people dealing with those types of issues. And
Right.
one question that I have pivoting a bit here, Kyle, is for folks who maybe already have what they feel like is a strong brand, is there something that they can or should be doing to protect their brand from the sense of, hey, I want to make sure that I'm going to continue seeing the growth that I have and that my account is going to be continuing to have the same level of exposure. I also don't want to be doing anything, that could potentially get my account shut down temporarily. Are there any key things that folks can be doing who've already built, let's say, a small to medium sized brand now and going forward?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, I think it's really important to look at what your goals are. Are your goals to maintain? Are they to take it to the next level? I think it's really important to talk to, maybe it's an advisor who knows a little bit more about it, because a lot of it's very, very individualized. Some of it's just small tweaks in content to improve, improve, improve. One of my biggest beliefs is like when there's a band that's, when they first start, they're dressed a certain way, they're dancing a certain way or whatever like that. And then, then 2 years down the line, they're really popping and things are changing and people are like, well, that's not the band I knew. I don't really like that. What they're doing is they're changing to what their people like. And so looking in at those metrics, what are people clicking off on? What do people not like about the content that you're putting out? And that could be a simple survey, or that can be just genuinely looking at the metrics. When are people clicking off your videos if they're long form? When do you see the little die down in the retention on those short form videos? Yeah. So I think it's really important to look at your metrics. And if you don't have time to do that, which a lot of people don't, then hire a professional who can just genuinely dive in. And I'd be more than happy to look at anybody's social media and kind of dial that together, and even a simple strategy.
Speaking of which, we are coming up on time here, Kyle.
Yeah.
Any new projects that you're working on? And then also, what's the best way for folks to get in contact with you or your team?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking to expand globally. So we're building together processes that would be made for a business probably 10 times the size of us, but our goal is to be 10 times the size. So building up processes to be able to help companies at a larger scale. If you want to find us, it's jamesmarketingcompany.com. Otherwise, you can find our Instagram, James Marketing Company, or follow me on YouTube at Kyle Hackbarth.
Kyle, thank you so much for taking the time today. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.